But I could never make a brother a victim to keep the slave master chasing.
You know, my thing is, why must I carry your secret of the terrible things that you did? And then we consider that the community, when members of the community, and I'm going to talk specifically now about the conscious community, because I know that there are many instances where people are being harmed by other members in the conscious, quote-unquote, community. And when I speak of the conscious community for myself, that would include individuals that I have met in my city on the ground and had dealings with. It includes people that I have had dealings with on the internet, whether it was in forum groups like Desi.com or Asada Shakur, Facebook, Blog Talk, YouTube, you know, the internet community. And that, for me, that community of African descendants who are quote-unquote conscious extends even internationally. And so that becomes members of the conscious community for me, because of internet and this postmodern era that we are now in, the conscious community, most certainly the possibilities and the connections that have been formed are extremely wide-reaching, you know, across the globe. It's international. And so I refer to that quote-unquote broad conscious community, and I know that all over the world there are many people being harmed within the conscious community as members of the conscious community interact and relate with each other. And when people experience harm in those relationships, the broader community is unaware of it. And when the story is not told, the person who caused the harm is free to continue to cause harm to other people, because his or her behavior is never checked, because nobody knows. It's just the people the victim and the perpetrator who is aware, and the victim is always discouraged from telling their story of having been victimized. There's a stigma attached to it. There's a blaming, you know, all those things come into play. And then there's the memes that says, I don't want to cause any waves. I don't want to hurt the person. You know, I could deal with it. You know, God wouldn't have let this happen if I wasn't strong enough. All different kind of things we have, right? But that's the thing, the person is free to move about in the conscious community continuing to do harm. And it's my contention or assertion that it is because of those secrets, because we don't share the stories of what is happening, our experiences, strengths, and plans in this system, because we keep those secrets and because we don't tell the truth about terrible events, the community is extremely ill, to the point where, you know, it's almost non-existent, yet there are clusters of active communal work happening within the African conscious collective, and those actions and activities are useful and constructive. And even people who cause harm to other people are also people who share information and do what they do in the conscious community in a way that is also helpful for a lot of other people. And then that becomes the other sort of meme that supports the victim with becoming the scapegoat and having to suffer in silence the harm that they experienced, and they have to be forced to work on healing themselves in isolation, because nobody wants to hear their story of pain and the great shame that they experienced getting hurt. So it's saying, yeah, the person is made to be the scapegoat, you know, because that's what a scapegoat does. They carry the brunt, they carry the weight of, you know, other people's shit. You know, that's what a mule is used for, carrying your stuff. And when the victim is made to maintain the secret, they are placed in that role of scapegoat and used to hold on to other people's shit in their secrets. Well, like I said, I'm working a program of recovery, and I'm no longer willing to maintain your dirty secrets of the shit that you did, that I experienced in our dealings and relationships. It's important for me to remember to tell the truth, remember and tell the truth about these terrible things, so as to support my own healing. You know, because that's how people heal from terrible events. They have to remember and tell the damn truth about it. And in so doing, that frees, you externalize those memories. As they come up, you get them out. You get them out. You just don't hold on to those memories and let them run around in your head while you sit and meditate and try to, you know, put them somewhere. It's like, talk about it. And our program of recovery, Step 5, says that it's important for us to reveal to our ancestors, the Creator, and another living being the exact nature of our own individual faulty shit, but it also applies in this regard to remember and tell the truth about terrible shit. You know, but Step 5 is more of a personal thing because it's dealing with the individual level, and so I remember and tell the truth about my own stuff too. It's like I'm wondering what if any secret I could share with you from my own individual life at this juncture. And I have a clip of something that I consider sharing with people. And, you know, it's a way of release, and so it's important. I'm no longer, like I said, willing to be the scapegoat and the mule and carry other people's shit. So I'm begin to unpack these saddles, these bags that have been strapped on me, these memories, and reveal and tell the truth about terrible shit. And if it was you that I experienced the harm from, then it would be useful if we could have a true conversation to support healing and resolution. And that will only happen, it would depend on how you are able to, how willing and ready you are to look at yourself and work your own program of recovery. I'm going to work my program, and it's not intended to cause harm to other people. However, I'm just unpacking some people's shit and giving it back because it's weighing me down. So, and that's how it works. And the program does work if and when we all work it. Because when we are all sort of unpacking and getting rid of that shit, we begin to find our own shit and take responsibility for that, and you know, and we begin to interact and deal with each other in a very different way. And we can learn how to respond to people's shared memories of pain. We can learn how to respond in a way that is helpful and not hurtful to them. We can make a commitment. We can make a decision to, you know, work on doing that when people share their shit. Especially when it's shit, there's some shit that needs to be flushed and people got hurt. You can learn to respond in a way that helps the person and not further harms the person if you choose to.
But I could never make a brother a victim to keep the slave master chasing.